right. Hey, boys and girls, it's Mrs. Daly coming on for our math lesson today. Yesterday, we were working on comparing numbers and counting. Today, we're going to do some more practice with counting. Miss Daly has her blocks with her. If you want, you can get something at home that you can count, like maybe you have some toy cars, maybe you have a box of macaroni, maybe you have, I don't know, some markers that you could use, anything you want to practice counting. But I'm going to use our unique program, so there will be pictures up there. So if you don't have anything or you just want to watch the video, you can use your finger and touch the pictures of objects that Miss Daly puts on the screen, okay? I also have with me my hundreds chart, just in case I need it to help me find a number that I'm not sure of. And I have my whiteboard in case I need to write anything down. Don't forget, today is April 2nd. It is Autism Awareness Day. Miss Daly has on her blue, like I said in my reading lesson, so make sure you're wearing your blue to help bring awareness to autism and students and people who happen to have autism. It's important that we all, not just people with autism, but everybody in general, help to lift each other up and be aware of all of our specialties that we all have. So just wanted to recognize that for the day. So I'm going to share my screen. Yesterday we were practicing our counting and our comparing numbers. So here is my picture for today. I'm going to zoom in, and our first thing we're going to do for today is practice counting objects and then finding the number that goes with those objects, okay? So like I said before, I have counters with me to count. I'm going to use my blocks just because it'll be easier for you to see Miss Daly moving the blocks than it will be for me to use my pointer to point to the objects. But you can go ahead and use your finger to count by touching the windows, or you can count whatever objects you have at home. So let me read our math problem for the day, our first math problem for the day, and then we'll start doing our counting. So it says, Emily washes windows. How many windows did she wash? All right, well, I know that I can point and count, and as I'm counting, I'm going to add my blocks.
I was choking. Mommy, I was choking.
All right, sorry guys, I had to pause it because Eric was having a moment and needed to come in and check. When you have kids, I'm sure you guys all know this because you have brothers and sisters, that everything does not go according to plan, and that's just a-okay. All right, so it says Emily washes windows. How many windows does she wash? So I need to look at my windows, and remember, when we're counting, we are using our finger to touch and say the number at the same time, because if you touch and then just keep saying the numbers, then we get mixed up and we forget some or we say too many. So while we're pointing to the windows and counting, Miss Daly's going to add blocks onto our tower so that we can keep track of how many we have counted, okay? So I have one window, and then I have two, and then three, and you can hear my computer is counting with me because I'm touching the objects. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So I have now touched all my windows, and while I was touching them, I was adding blocks to my block tower. Let's see if I can get it to stay together. So I have 14 blocks, 14 windows, and I need to figure out which number is 14. What does 14 look like? Well, I know that this number is 10 because we know what 10 looks like. So I have these other two choices, a 1 and a 4 or a 1 and a 3. Well, if I couldn't remember, then I could do my touching and counting on my hundreds chart and find the number 14. So I'm going to put my hundreds chart so you can see it. And we're going to practice touching and counting up until we hear the number 14. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I'm at 10, so now I need to go down to the next row. 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I hear it. It says 14, and I can see that that is a 1 and a 4. So with your finger, I want you to find the number 14. Can you touch the number that has a 1 and a 4 together? That's 14. Beautiful job. Give yourselves a pat on the back. We got that one right. We're going to move on to our next problem. So our friend Chris is here, and he's doing the same thing as Emily. They're washing windows. So it says, Chris washes windows. How many windows does Chris wash? So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with Emily, because we touch and count slowly as we're going. So I'm going to touch and count, and then I'm going to add my block to help me even more remember what number I'm counting to. So you either touch the windows with your finger or count your objects at home. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more. 12. All right. I have touched and counted my block tower while I was touching my windows. So I have 12. That's how high we counted, was the number 12. So I can't remember what a 12 looks like, but I want you guys to take a second and look at your answer choices down here and see if you can touch the number 12. See if you can remember what the number 12 is. All right, I see some people are looking for the number, and I think some people are like Miss Daly, and I just can't, sometimes I just can't remember. So that's why I use my strategy with my hundreds chart. So here's my hundreds chart, and we're gonna touch and count. And what number did we count to for our windows? What number did we get to? We got all the way up to 12, okay? So here we go, we're gonna count to 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, I got to the end. I have to go to the next row. 11, 12. I hear the number 12, and I can see what it looks like. The number 1 and 2. 1 and 2. With your finger, can you touch the number 12? It has a 1 and a 2 smushed together. 1 and 2. All right. Awesome job, guys. Go ahead and kiss your brain. What would we do without that brain? All right, so those two were practiced. So now we have another one. We have another problem where we are going to practice counting together. So Miss Daly's not going to use the blocks anymore because I think you guys have it down together. So we're going to touch our objects on our screen. And you can do this at home with your finger while Miss Daly's doing it with her mouse. So we are going to touch our plates and see how many we got, and then we have to find the number that matches. So I still have my hundreds chart just in case I forget what it looks like. All right, so we touch and say the number at the same time. Are we ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9. Great counting, guys. So here are my choices. I have the number 1 through 10. And I need to find the number 9. So with your finger, I want you to look in my blue box and see if you can find the number 9. And I know that lots of us get confused on the number 6 and the number 9 because they look so close. They look so similar. They're just the same number upside down. So I think just to be on the safe side, we should use our hundreds chart and see to make sure that we get the right number. So I'm going to touch and count until I get to the number 9. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. There it is. So can you guys see the number 9? And remember, our number 9 comes right before 10. So I want to pick the number 9 here right next to 10. And we got it. All right, let me zoom in so we can see for counting. Our next question, it just says, how many? Well, how many are there? We're going to touch and count. And when we're counting, you guys tell me, what do I need to make sure I'm doing when I'm counting? Yeah, I'm going to touch the number and say it at the same time so I don't get confused or count too many or too little. So with Miss Daly, I want you to use your finger and touch the windows while we count them. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh my goodness. I feel like we all know what a 5 looks like. I don't think I need my hundreds chart for that one because I know that 5 is halfway to 10. So let's see. And I could even, without using my hundreds chart, if I forgot, I could count in my blue box because my numbers are in order. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There it is. Great job. All right, our next one says how many, and we are counting our t-shirts down here. So we're gonna touch and count together. I wanna see you touching on the screen while I touch with my mouse. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7. In my blue box, you are looking for the number 7. So now I have a couple numbers missing, so it would be kind of hard for me to count and remember what comes next. So I think I'm going to use my hundreds chart just to be on the safe side. So I'm looking for the number 7, and I'm going to start at the top row and count until I get to 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, do we all see what the 7 looks like? With your fingers in my blue box, please touch the number 7. Awesome job, guys. Awesome job. All right, on the bottom, I have one more. I have some forks here. This is all my students' favorite numbers, so I know we're not even gonna have to look up this number, but let me see if you can count it with me. We're gonna touch and count together. Here we go. 1, 2. All right, and that's all your favorite numbers. So can you please, with your finger, touch the number 2? Awesome job. All right, we have some more practice, and these are some bigger numbers, so we might really need our hundreds chart for this one. And this is going to be our last page for today to practice our counting. On Monday, when we come back together, we will finish this lesson doing some comparing numbers, and then we will do the same practice but using our lessons for April. So we'll have some different pictures and numbers to practice with the same skill. Okay, so let's look up here. It says how many trash bags. Now remember, when we're counting, we want to be touching and saying the number at the same time. Okay, so we will start at the beginning. Are you ready? I want to see fingers touching trash bags. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11. Let's see what my choices look like. Those are some big numbers, and I can't remember what an 11 looks like. So I think that I'm going to use my hundreds chart. So I'm going to start at the beginning, and I'm going to count until I get to 11. And remember, when you get to the end of a row, then we're going to go all the way back and go down to the next row, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There it is, 11. I see my number 11. With your fingers, can you find the number 11? It's a 1 and a 1 smushed together. Beautiful job, a 1 and a 1 smushed together. That is 11. All right. On our next problem, it looks like we might have some plants. Is that what it looks like to you guys? Some plants? All right, so we're going to touch and count our plants. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. All right, so here's my choices. And I can't quite remember what 17 looks like, but I know that this number right here is a 12. So I could start at 12 and keep counting until I get to 17. That's called counting on. So let's practice counting on from 12, and we're going to go until we get to 17. Are you ready? 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. There it is. Great job. All right. We are going to count our plates that we have. We have 2 more problems. You guys are doing a great job focusing and touching and counting. So let's get our last 2 problems done for the day. We're going to touch and count our plates. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plates. That's a lot of people coming over to eat dinner. All right, I can't remember what a 13 looks like. Do you guys know what a 13 looks like? Let me see. Well, take a second with your fingers, see if you can touch the 13. I think some of you have got it, and I think some of you are like me and you're like, I need my hundreds chart, I can't remember. Oh, all right. Let's try together. Are you ready? We're going to count until we get to 13. And if you get to the end, we go all the way back to the next row, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there it is, 13. A 1 and a 3 smushed together. A 1 and a 3 smushed together makes the number 13. Beautiful job. Give yourselves a thumbs up for working so hard today. And here's our last one. We are going to count our windows, counting our windows in our building. So we are going to use our finger to touch and count and then find the number. And this time we're going to try and see if we can remember what number it is together, okay? Here we go. We're touching and saying the number at the same time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. 15. Oh my goodness. I think I remember this number because I know what a 5 looks like, and I know that there's a 5 and the number 15. So look in your blue box. Let me see if I can make it a little bit bigger for you guys. Look in your blue box and see, do you see the number 15? A 1 and a 5 smushed together. Awesome job. There's our 15. All right, you guys did a great job. So this is our reminder sheet about comparing numbers. And when we meet again on Monday for math, we will go over comparing numbers. We'll see some new problems from our lesson for next month. And we'll talk about our alligator mouths again, okay? Thanks for having math time with me. I hope you're enjoying your lessons. I hope you're working on your computer problems. And if not, that's okay too, as long as you're taking some time to spend time with your family and maybe just watch Miss Daly's videos. That makes me happy. So I will see you guys later tonight for our read aloud, and make sure you're listening to your parents. Talk to you later. Bye.